Hey up, right, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather today, so I'm going to try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. I've got a terrible earache and I'm a bit bunged up. I think I'm coming down with a cold, so I'll apologise in advance for sniffing all the way through this video if that happens. Now, about 6 weeks or 2 months ago, I bought myself a new mini socket set from Halfords, the Halfords ADVANCED range, which, you know, I've used these for a while. I've got a few of their tools. They're really well made. They're made for Halfords by a company called Alpha Tools, I think it is, a German company. So most, if not all, of the Halfords ADVANCED tools are made in Germany. They're really good quality. They're a little bit dearer than the sort of stuff that you normally come across on Amazon, etc. But you know, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. Now, these come with a lifetime guarantee. One viewer who I do trust actually told me that that doesn't include moving parts like ratchets. That might be the case. I do trust what he's told me. I haven't had a chance to look at their website, but looking at the warranty information on the back, it does say you have to go on their website for full terms and conditions of the warranty. If that's the case, I think that is a little bit naughty, because it should make it clear when it says lifetime guarantee on it that there are some exclusions to that. So it is worth just checking that out before you go ahead and purchase them. Now, I bought these in originally, as I say, a couple of months ago to replace an old 20-odd-year-old socket set. Nothing wrong with it really, but the case had it, and I was constantly losing parts, so I thought it was time to treat myself to a new one. Now, when I got home with it, it suddenly dawned on me, Halfords is a UK company only, and as only about a third of my viewers are from the UK, that would was leaving a lot of people out. So I went with the wearer kit, which was very well received. I mean, tool reviews don't get a lot of views. Not everybody's interested in tools, but I try to cater for everybody. And I asked people to let me know if they still wanted to see this kit. I've had a lot of people say, yeah, I definitely want your opinion on it, Stu. Some have sort of divulged to me in comments that they actually got fed up of waiting and they've gone out and bought this kit, and they're really pleased with it. So I thought the least I can do is put a quick video up about it today. So I'll bring the camera in. I'm just going to do it here while I'm sitting on the sofa. I'll bring the camera in and we'll have a proper look at it. Right, so to start off with, it's a 40-piece 1/4 inch socket set. These are one of the handiest sizes you can possibly get, to be quite honest. Now, the sockets themselves are 6-point sockets. That's the high torque sockets. They're safer for your nuts and bolts, because there's less possibility of them slipping compared to a 12-point, although 12 points can be a little bit more versatile. But a 6-point is the safest. It's got a 100-tooth ratchet, so it only requires a very small movement in order to actually, achieve some turn on your sockets, which is good. It's got Torx sets and hex bits. I'll go through those in a moment. Sort of packaging is fairly premium, actually. I mean, it's maybe not as premium as it was on the wearer, but it doesn't matter because you're just going to throw this box away. Comes in a nice hard case with the Halfords ADVANCED insignia on it. I think it is a thermoplastic, thermo softening plastic, so it should be fairly robust. It's not so hard that there's a danger of it cracking. Now, opening it, I do find that the catch on this is a little bit stiff, although it seems to be getting better. So they can be a little bit awkward to open the first couple of times you open them. And as you see, got a nice display here. Instead of using the vacuum formed plastic that used to be common for the inserts for the actual tools, yeah, what you find with the old sort of vacuum formed plastic inserts, they're okay to start with, but the apertures that actually hold all the sockets in place over time loosen off and wear. And what happens is, if you inadvertently open it upside down, which we all do occasionally, everything falls out. In this case, the whole inserts. Yeah, that wasn't a good demonstration, but as you say, it holds everything in place very securely. What I'll do is I'll put this case to one side actually, because it's going to be easier. Now we've got a selection of, as I say, 6-point sockets, starting with a 5.5. I don't come across a 5.5 very often, so I don't know that I'll use that. Now usually 6, yeah, you do come across those occasionally, especially on switch gear, that kind of thing. The rest of them are pretty useful, and it's nice to see this has got a 14mm with it as well, which is often the size of a sump plug when you're servicing a bike. So yeah, a really handy range there. Oh, bloody hell, I've just realised actually goes down to 3.5. Yeah, that's I'm not sure I would have much use for those, but it certainly has you know, a good range of sockets that you'll need for most fasteners on a motorcycle, without a doubt. Now the Ratchet itself, this feels really premium. It's obviously chrome plated. Is it still there? No, just Halfords ADVANCED. Yeah, it feels really premium. It's been chrome plated and it's polished to perfection. It feels really nice, high quality in your hands. I notice here the mechanism's held in place with a Serre clip, which is a good choice. Sometimes you have a couple of small screws holding them in, which looks premium, but as you're using them, the vibrations work them loose, and then before you know where you are, you've lost one screw, and then you've lost the other screw, and then the whole mechanism falls out of the ratchet, and that's the end of the ratchet basically, because the tiny little screws that they often put in, and you know, you're never going to find them once they've fallen out. So yeah, that's real quality. I like the way that's been put together. We've got a metal lever here for reversing the ratchet. But does it lock it as well? Yeah, no, it doesn't. Does it? No, you can't lock it. It tends to want to go one way or the other. Now you've got a push release, which seems to work very well. I mean, you know, this is all sort of traditional tool fare, but you know, traditional tools are good. We've got an articulated piece here. They're quite stiff, but that's normal with tools, actually. Yeah, it's very stiff. Ah, right, okay. Right, so it's not a simple push fit. Again, you know, this is another feature I wasn't expecting. You have to push the button to release. You also have to push the button to put it on, otherwise you won't get it on. That's handy. You know, we've all had this when you get a slightly soft fastener and the socket bites into it, and then you try to pull it off and the socket just separates from the ratchet itself. You know, that happens with all of us, and it can be quite annoying, and then the socket falls off and drops down somewhere hidden inside the bike. So yeah, I like that. Good positive locking mechanism, so your sockets are not going to come off until you want them to. I never really use these articulated extenders. I know they probably come in for some jobs, but I've honestly never come across a job where I need one. But anyway, it's there. Right, so yeah, nice positive action with the sockets. Very nice, precise. But whether you can hear that. Very nice, precise action on the ratchet. Feels really premium. Good action on the lever for reversing it. yeah, it's high quality. You know, this is not your cheap eBay or Amazon kit. I think it's well worth the money. Really pleased with it. So as I say, we've got 3.5. I mean, I suppose in some industries there's a use for that. I don't really think the 3.5 to the 5.5 are going to have much use on a motorcycle, but they're there if you need them. Again, the sockets themselves are all really good quality, nicely polished, nicely finished. The machining all looks really good on them. Decades of use in them. That's just fallen through the bottom. Yeah, I made a mistake doing this way. So you've got just one extension. Normally in these kits you get two extensions, and I've just realised this is your short extension. Normally they're a bit shorter than this, so it's a little bit longer than I would have preferred, but you've also got your screwdriver, which if required you can use as a long extension bar with your sockets. It's actually got a hex in the back. It's the same locking mechanism. It won't go on unless you press the button, and it locks it solidly in place. Do you know, the more I look at this, the more I'm impressed with it. Really nice bit of kit. Really pleased with this. So, and of course this long extension bar is also a screwdriver, because you also need a screwdriver on a bike. So I'll just put that to one side for a moment. These are falling through. Obviously they're not intended to be loose from the kit like this. So now then, we've got 4 Allen hex bits. I'm presuming these are going to have a size on them. We've got an S2 8mm, 7mm. That's quite unusual. Presuming this will be a 6. Yeah, 6mm. And I think this will be a 5 or 4. 5. So presuming that will be a 4. 4. So you've got certainly your 4, your 5, your 6 and your 8, you're going to be using those a lot on any motorcycle. I'm not so sure about the 7, but again, it's there if you ever need it. These are designed to be used in conjunction with this bit here, which is a converter bit. Now, this has got a 1/4 inch drive on it, so you can use it with your ratchet. Again, nice firm solid locking on it. That all does exactly what it's supposed to do, but it also doubles up for your screwdriver, and you know, that's what I like about these kits. I mean, you do have this facility with the wearer, but it's, if I'm honest, it's a little bit more convoluted than this kit is. It's more simple and traditional, but it does all the same jobs. I've just realised the parrot's talking away in the background. My apologies for that. So there's no locking mechanism, obviously, to get it onto the shaft of the screwdriver. That is just a standard sort of ball bearing clicking piece. Yeah, good mechanism. I mean, it's pretty tight. You may occasionally find if you get a bit stuck in a fastener, when you pull it off, that's going to come off. But I mean, there's quite a bit of force required to do that. So I think it's unlikely until this kit's quite old and well worn. So anyway, that's the Allen hexes. After that, we've got crossheads, which are right. These are posi drive, and you've got, I presume this will be a 3. So you've got a posi drive, 3, 2, and 1. You've also got a selection of flathead bits. Don't come across those much on a bike, but I mean, you know, these kits are not just for your bike. They're for any odd jobs that you happen to have, whether it be on your car or around your home. you know, it serves you for every eventuality, and that's what I like about these kits. You know, they are useful. Now on the other strip, again, they're both in plastic strip holders, so you know, you can take it out of the kit and you know, just take bits out and replace them as you need to while you're actually working. Now the the Torx, starting off with a T40. Presume that'll be a T20. Quite hard to get out. Yeah, they've been a bit awkward. I mean, it is good that they're stiff to start with. Yeah, T30, because these are going to wear with use over time. So if they're too loose to start with, that's when you have problems with them when you've sort of had the kit for 10 years or whatever. That'll be a T27. So that'll be a 20, I'm presuming. Yeah, they're quite difficult to get out. Not good if you've got oily hands, I have to say. There we go. Oh, it's a T25, so the next one must be a T20. Oh no, hang on, we're going the wrong way. Bear with me. Right, so T15. I've missed the T20, haven't we? God, I'm really not feeling this today. Right, so yeah, that's the T20. T15. And a T10, so complete range of fasteners. I mean, you'll probably end up using all of those on a bike in due course, I would think. Very common fasteners on bikes these days. And of course you can use all of these, as I've already said, either with the screwdriver piece or with the ratchet. It's a very versatile kit. You know, these are invaluable. As I say, that my other ones served me really well throughout the life of this channel. You know, pretty stiff, a little bit awkward to start with, but I'm sure they are going to loosen up with time. Now we've also got some Phillips heads, so it'll be a Phillips 3 down to a Phillips 1, I would think. Just yeah, that's a Phillips 1. Well, that's a Phillips 3, so the middle one will be a Phillips 2. So yeah, there, altogether you've got a complete range of Allen, Torx, Posi-Drive and Phillips bits for just about any job on a motorcycle. In fact, I'm thinking, I can't really think of any job on any of my bikes that I wouldn't be able to do with them. And you've got the ability to either use it as a normal screwdriver. I've just pushed them all back in, I won't get them out now. It's a normal screwdriver, like that. If you want a little bit more leverage, of course, you've got the ability, you know, to get that little bit extra purchase by using the ratchet, which is a really handy feature. I remember I had one years ago. Again, it was a Halfords one, but it was one of the cheaper kits back in the 1980s that had that facility, and I used it a lot. But you know, it was one of their cheap kits from the early days. I think, to be honest, rather than it breaking, I think I just lost it because it didn't come in a case, if I remember. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing to dislike about this kit. I think it's absolutely spot on, worth every penny. As I say, it comes with that limited lifetime guarantee. If it does exclude moving parts like your ratchet, I think that's a bit naughty. Halfords should make that clear on the actual box, because, you know, if you're in the shop, you read lifetime guarantee on there, you buy it and you walk out the shop thinking the whole thing's guaranteed for lifetime. I mean, it might be, I might have been misinformed, but I do trust the source that it came from. And to be honest, I just decided to do this video this morning because I didn't really feel up to doing anything else, because I'm not well. So I should really have researched it online, but it's a bit naughty if it does exclude moving parts like your ratchet. It's a bit naughty that that's not declared on the box. You shouldn't have to get home and look it up online before you find that out. So that's, you know, 1 point off this kit. If that's the case, I might be wrong, but like I say, I trust the source that information came from, because he told me that he bought a kit. It broke, presumably what must have been a ratchet. Only going one way around. And he took it in and he was told that ratchets aren't covered, which, yeah, if that's the case, I think that's a little bit naughty, but there you have it. Right, so that's the Halfords ADVANCED 40-piece 1/4-inch socket set. A really premium piece of kit. Yeah, it's probably substantially more expensive than your average, you know, Chinese stuff that you're going to be able to pick up on Amazon or whatever. But the quality is definitely there. I think it's worth every penny of the around about £40 asking price that Halfords have it up for. Now you can get it online through Halfords website, or you can go into your local Halfords store. They usually have a few of these on stock. I just went in personally and picked it out. It's less than half the price of the Wearer kit, and if I'm honest, as nice as the Wearer kit is, it's got, you know, all these innovative features, which, don't get me wrong, they're brilliant, but it does smack a little bit of trying too hard when you consider that will do exactly the same job. You know, it's hard to fault it for the money. As I say, German made by Alpha Tools for Halfords. You can't really go wrong. Lifetime warranty with some terms and conditions that you need to look out for. I don't think you can go wrong. It's small, it's compact, it'll fit into your panniers on a trip. You wouldn't need many other tools, to be fair, to complement this. I found that I use these 1/4-inch socket sets most of the time when I'm making videos on the bikes. So, you know, it's going to save you 90% of the work that you do on your bike. Right, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos, and in doing so, helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you would leave a like, hit the hype button if it's available to you. That really does help me out, and consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. There are other ways that you can help me out via my Patreon page, PayPal donations, or you can use the super thanks button down there. Not essential, but again, you know, it helps me make these sort of videos, because the costs do mount up. I am of course going to be back next week. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better. So until then, please ride safely, and I'll see you soon.